Welcome back to our channel, where we dive deep into the fascinating world of coins, currency, and collectibles. Today, you're in for an incredible numismatic journey as we unravel the astonishing story of the 1992 D. Lincoln 1-cent coin, a modern penny that, due to a rare and significant error, has shocked the collecting community by fetching prices as high as $25,000 or more in auctions and private sales. And we're going to explore in this extended deep dive why this coin, minted in Denver in 1992, has become such an unexpected treasure in the eyes of collectors and experts alike. So if you're sitting on a jar full of pennies or love coin roll hunting, you might just have one of these hidden gems without even knowing it, and by the end of this video, you'll be armed with all the critical details, facts, errors, and diagnostic features to check your own pocket change or inherited coin collection for this elusive and incredibly valuable cent. Now the story of the 1992 D-Close AM penny begins with what seems like a trivial design variation, yet in the world of minting, even the smallest details can carry massive consequences in rarity and value, as every coin tells a story, not just of economy, but of minting history, printing challenges, quality control lapses, and human error, and in this case, it's all about the reverse design of the Lincoln Memorial Cent, which underwent changes as the U.S. Mint prepared for a redesign that would officially roll out in 1993, but before that transition became public and widespread, a very small number of 1992 pennies slipped through the cracks with a reverse design that was not supposed to be paired with that year's obverse die. Specifically, these were transitional errors involving the close AM reverse, a design feature meant for use starting in 1993 but mistakenly used on some 1992 dated dies. Now the key visual indicator is found in the spacing between the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse of the penny, as the standard reverse used in 1992 had a wide AM configuration, where the two letters are clearly separated with a noticeable space between them, but on a close AM coin, the A and M are nearly touching, or at least extremely close to one another. This subtle design difference may seem minor at first glance, but in the coin collecting world, it creates a clear diagnostic point that separates a common penny from one of the rarest modern mint errors in American numismatic history. And when we're specifically talking about the 1992 D-Close AM variety, things get even more interesting, because while both the 1992 and 1992 D-Close AM pennies are considered valuable and rare, the 1992 D is even more elusive, with estimates suggesting that only a handful of examples are known to exist, and perhaps even fewer that are in mint state condition, making any discovery of such a coin a significant event in the hobby, and collectors have been known to pay tens of thousands of dollars for high-grade examples, with some going for over $25,000 at major auctions, not merely because of the error itself but also due to the extreme rarity of finding a Denver minted penny from that year with the incorrect reverse design. And this brings us to the broader context of how these kinds of errors can happen, and what makes them so coveted. Now the U.S. Mint produces billions of coins every year. And despite the high standards for quality control, mistakes do happen, sometimes from rushed transitions between design years, die mix-ups, or improper die pairings, and transitional errors like the 1992 D-Close AM are classic examples of how a production oversight can turn into a numismatic jackpot for collectors decades later. And what's especially intriguing is that these kinds of errors usually go unnoticed at the time of minting, only to be discovered years or even decades later when eagle-eyed hobbyists or professional graders start to examine coins more closely. And that's exactly what happened with the 1992 D-Close AM, as it wasn't widely known until one was discovered by a collector in the late 1990s or early 2000s, leading to a surge of interest and examination among numismatists. And ever since, the hunt has been on, with people scouring their change, rolls, and collections for this rare cent. Now identifying a genuine 1992 D-Close AM penny isn't just about the spacing of the letters alone. Other diagnostics must also be confirmed, including the positioning of the FG initials, representing designer Frank Gasparo, on the reverse, which appear closer to the building on close AM varieties, unlike the standard reverse where the initials are further away, and experts also examine die polish lines, strike characteristics, and die wear patterns to authenticate genuine examples and rule out counterfeits or manipulated coins, and because of the value associated with these coins. Counterfeiting is a real concern, so professional grading services like PCGS and NGC are typically used to authenticate and encapsulate these rare pennies, adding another layer of trust and certification when they hit the auction block or resale market. And let's not forget that even low-grade or circulated examples of the 1992 D-Close AM can still fetch hundreds or thousands of dollars depending on the condition, while uncirculated or high mint state versions with good luster and minimal contact marks can bring in five-figure sums, and that's a tremendous return on what originally cost only 1 cent to produce, so the possibility of finding one in your change or inherited stash becomes an incredibly exciting prospect. And this rare era coin serves as a reminder that treasures can truly be hidden in plain sight, even among the most common denominations, and beyond just the spacing of the AM. Other telltale signs that help verify the authenticity include the texture of the fields, strike pressure, and edge definition, all of which are used by graders to determine both the authenticity and the condition of the coin. And because the number of known specimens is so small, some reports suggest fewer than 20 confirmed examples. Each newly discovered piece has the potential to create headlines in the numismatic world, and the rarity is so significant that collectors often refer to the 1992 D-Close AM as one of the holy grails of modern Lincoln cents. And given that the coin was minted over 3 decades ago, the chances of finding one in uncirculated rolls or original bank-wrapped rolls from 1992 are slim but not impossible, and coin dealers and collectors across the country continue to keep an eye out, hoping to spot one hiding among common dates, and the thrill of possibly turning a penny into a 5-figure payout keeps the hunt alive. And there's even the added mystery surrounding how exactly the reverse die meant for 1993 production found its way into 1992 production at the Denver Mint, as the official documentation from the U.S. Mint remains unclear or silent on the matter, leading to much speculation and intrigue among collectors. And while we may never know the exact circumstances that led to the creation of these era coins, their existence underscores the complexity of the minting process and the human element involved in production, and beyond the 1992 D-Close AM. Other related varieties include the 1992 Close AM from the Philadelphia Mint, which is also rare and valuable, though slightly more common than the Denver version, and these transitional eras are part of a broader family of close AM and wide AM varieties that span across the years 1992 to 2000, each with its own quirks, rarity, and market value. But among them all, the 1992 D-Close AM remains one of the rarest and most valuable, commanding the highest premiums and attracting the most attention. And for those of you looking to search for one, here are a few tips. Use a good magnifier, ideally 10x or higher. Inspect the reverse carefully for the AM spacing and FG positioning. Compare with known examples online or through coin books, and if you suspect you have a candidate, consider sending it in to a professional grading service for evaluation. And don't clean the coin, as doing so can reduce its value. And remember that condition matters. A well-preserved coin will fetch much more than one that's worn or damaged. And stories have emerged of people finding these coins in pocket change, inherited jars, or bulk lots purchased from estate sales or antique stores. So opportunities do exist for the lucky and the diligent, and if you think about it, the idea that a single penny could be worth more than a brand new car or a year's worth of college tuition is simply astounding. And yet that's exactly what makes the 1992 D-Close AM such a legendary piece in the collecting community, as it embodies rarity, mystery, error, and high desirability all in one tiny copper-plated zinc package. So keep checking your change, keep learning the diagnostics, and who knows, you might just be the next person to uncover one of these incredible coins and turn an ordinary day into an extraordinary numismatic discovery. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1992 D-Close AM penny, make sure to subscribe, because there are countless other stories of rare coins hiding in plain sight, each with its own quirks, errors, and histories waiting to be uncovered and shared. And now that we've unraveled the incredible story of the 1992 declosed AM penny and how such a tiny detail can turn an everyday coin into a jackpot worth over $25,000, let's dive straight into yet another fascinating and valuable Lincoln cent that has stunned the collecting world: the elusive and highly sought-after 1994 Lincoln 1-cent era coin, which, under the right conditions and due to specific and rare minting mistakes, has been known to sell for prices up to $15,000 or even more in high-grade or unique era examples. And while this coin may seem unassuming at first glance, minted in massive quantities with billions of examples struck in Philadelphia and Denver combined, only a very tiny fraction of these 1994 cents possess the types of errors and conditions that elevate them into the realm of big money collectibles. And just like with the 1992 declosed AM, the real magic lies in a combination of minting anomalies, transitional issues, rare die varieties, and extraordinary mint state preservation. Now, to truly understand why some 1994 pennies are worth thousands, we have to dig into the types of known errors and rarities that can occur in this date, and one of the most famous and valuable among them is the 1994 Lincoln cent with an off-metal strike. This refers to a coin that was mistakenly struck on a planchet, the blank disc before it's turned into a coin, meant for a different denomination or composition, such as a dime or a foreign coin planchet, and when a penny is struck on a dime planchet, it is noticeably smaller, thinner, and lighter, usually missing part of the design near the edges because the die size doesn't match the blank it was struck on, and these off-metal errors from 1994 are extremely rare, and when authenticated and graded in mint state condition, collectors have paid $10,000 to $15,000 or more, depending on appeal, rarity, and certification, and that's just one category of high-value 1994 cents, but there's more, including dramatic double die obverse (DDO) varieties, which occur when the die used to strike the coin was improperly hubbed, creating a doubled image on parts of the coin such as the date, the words Liberty, or In God We Trust. And while there's no officially catalogued major DDO for the 1994 penny on the scale of the famous 1955 or 1969 S-double dies, some lesser-known and subtle DDOs have surfaced in the marketplace and gained recognition among variety collectors, especially when certified by grading authorities like Kanika or Wechsler, and examples with sharp, visible doubling in uncirculated condition can command several $1,000s due to rarity, demand, and die state clarity. And then there are coins known as struck-through errors, where a foreign object, such as a piece of cloth, wire, grease, or even a piece of another coin, gets between the die and planchet during striking, creating a dramatic indentation or unusual surface distortion, and some of the most dramatic and eye-catching struck-through errors on 1994 pennies have sold for several $1,000s, especially those where the error is dramatic, centered, and easily visible without magnification, making them extremely attractive to both error specialists and general collectors. And while minor struck-throughs are not unusual, the major, dramatic, cleanly struck examples are very rare and desirable, especially when paired with strong mint luster and few contact marks. And in addition to those, we also have broad strikes, off-center strikes, bonded coins, and double strikes from 1994, all of which fall under the category of striking errors. And while common off-center strikes may only bring a modest premium if the coin is slightly misaligned, examples where the strike is 50% off-center or more, especially with the full date still visible, can bring in hundreds or even thousands of dollars, particularly in high mint state grades, and collectors love those dramatic error pieces that tell a visual story of how things went wrong in the minting process. And then there's the elusive proof-like business strikes, which are rare instances where coins struck for circulation somehow exhibit an almost mirror-like surface, either due to a freshly polished die or exceptional strike pressure and planchet quality. And while not official proof coins, these proof-like 1994 cents are coveted by specialists, particularly when graded PL, proof-like, or even DPL, deep proof-like, by services such as PCGS. And such coins can sell for thousands, especially in top pop grade categories like MS68PL or higher. And now let's talk about the ultra high grade coins, the so-called condition rarities, that can turn a regular 1994 penny into a 4 or even 5-figure collectible simply because of its exceptional preservation. And remember that while billions of these were made, only a minuscule number survive without even the tiniest nick, scratch, discoloration, or flaw, and those few that do exist in pristine condition, sometimes graded MS69 read by PCGS or NGC, are fiercely contested by registry collectors, who seek the absolute best examples for their competitive sets, and these collectors will pay astonishing sums to upgrade their collections with a perfect or near-perfect 1994 cent. Sometimes pushing auction prices into the $10,000 to $15,000 range or more for the top population pieces. And it's this market pressure that can suddenly elevate a coin from a pocket change curiosity to a financial windfall. And while most circulated 1994 cents will forever remain worth 1 cent, it's those outliers, the coins that defy the odds through error, rarity, or flawless preservation, that become legends in the world of coin collecting. And there's another fascinating niche here involving 1994 cents struck with missing elements, such as coins without a mint mark due to dye fill or coins with missing letters caused by grease-filled dyes. And while these are usually more common and bring less value, extreme examples where half the design is missing yet the strike is bold and sharp elsewhere can still catch the eye of a seasoned collector or error specialist, adding yet another layer of depth to the varieties known from this year. And then we consider another highly unusual and valuable type, mule errors, where a coin is struck using dies from 2 different coin types. Though no confirmed mule errors are known from 1994 cents, even rumors or discovery of one would instantly make headlines and easily break the $15,000 mark or higher, as mule coins are among the rarest of all U.S. mint errors and always spark high interest in auctions. And so, as with the 1992 D Close AM, the 1994 cent demonstrates that value in numismatics isn't just about age or metal content, it's about rarity, error, condition, and collector demand. And for all you coin roll hunters, estate sale buyers, or casual hobbyists who like to check every cent before spending it, the possibility of stumbling upon one of these rare 1994 errors remains very real, because despite their rarity, these coins are out there, hiding in jars, old bank rolls, forgotten stashes, and inherited collections, just waiting for the right set of eyes to notice them. And if you're ever lucky enough to find a 1994 penny with a dramatic error, off-metal strike, high-grade condition, or unusual doubling, don't hesitate to get it examined by a reputable grading service, because you could be sitting on a piece worth thousands. And once again, we're reminded that even the most ordinary-looking coins can carry extraordinary stories and value, and that's what makes coin collecting such an exciting and rewarding pursuit for enthusiasts all around the world. And now that we've explored the surprising value of the 1994 Lincoln cent, especially in its rare error forms and ultra-high-grade specimens that have shocked collectors with prices reaching up to $15,000, it's time to move forward and dive into yet another remarkable example of modern numismatic treasure, the 1996 D Lincoln 1 cent. A coin that under specific conditions and due to an extremely limited number of dramatic minting anomalies has stunned the coin collecting world by achieving values as high as $20,000, making it one of the most valuable and desirable Lincoln cents of the 1990s for advanced collectors and error enthusiasts alike. And at first glance, the 1996 D penny looks like any other modern 1 cent piece, copper-plated zinc, struck by the billions for general circulation by the Denver Mint, but in a few rare and exceptional cases, something went drastically different during the production process, leading to the creation of highly collectible varieties and mint errors that command eye-watering sums on the secondary market. And once again, it's not the age or the base metal that brings the value here, but rather the nature of extremely rare minting mistakes, compounded by the incredible rarity and condition of surviving specimens. Now perhaps the most jaw-dropping of all known 1996 D Lincoln cent errors is the dramatic double denomination error. This is when a cent is accidentally struck on a coin that has already been struck with a different denomination, most famously a Roosevelt dime or a foreign coin of similar dimensions, and yes, in one now legendary example that caused ripples across the numismatic world, a 1990 60 penny was discovered to have been struck on a struck Roosevelt dime, meaning that you can actually see traces of both designs, with Lincoln's profile overlapping Roosevelt's and portions of the reverse memorial clashing with elements of the dime's torch, olive branch, and lettering, and this type of error is nearly unheard of due to the extreme rarity of such an occurrence, resulting from an incredible failure in minting protocol, where a previously struck dime planchet somehow remained in the striking chamber and was refed into the press meant for cents, and when authenticated and certified by top-tier grading companies like PCGS. Such double denomination errors from 1990-60 have sold for up to $20,000, and in some cases even more depending on the visibility of both designs, centering, and overall eye appeal, and the market for these errors is extremely strong, fueled by error coin collectors who specialize in the most dramatic and visually confusing pieces, where two coins are literally fused into one, and the 1990-60 cent has also produced a range of other valuable mint errors, including off-metal strikes, off-center strikes, and double strikes, with off-metal errors referring to coins struck on the wrong planchet, again, often from a dime or a foreign coin blank, and these are especially valuable when the error is clearly visible and the coin retains enough of its cent design to confirm the date and mint mark. And another rare and desirable form from the 1990-60 cent is a major off-center strike, where the image of Lincoln and the reverse design are severely shifted, often with a large blank crescent along one side of the coin. And collectors place a premium on such pieces when the date and mint mark are still fully or mostly visible, as those features are crucial for attributing the error and validating its rarity, and dramatic off-center strikes on 1990-60 cents in mint state can easily cross the $1,000 threshold, but when paired with other errors or in exceptionally clean condition, they've reached values well into the multi-thousand-dollar range, and in cases of double strikes, where the coin is struck more than once in a misaligned way, the overlapping designs create a chaotic and captivating visual that is highly prized by collectors, especially when the second strike is far enough offset to create a shadow or doubled image of Lincoln's head or the memorial building, and when these occur on coins graded above MS-65 with full red coloration and strong eye appeal, they can be worth several $1,000s, particularly when certified by major grading services. And yet another layer of interest in the 1990-60 Lincoln cent lies in die variety and die break errors, including coins struck with large cuds, which are raised, blob-like areas usually found along the rim where part of the die has broken away, and these cut errors can be very dramatic and collectible, especially when they're large, cover major parts of the design, and are well-centered, with prices for such cut errors on 1990-60 cents sometimes hitting the $500 to $1,000 mark or more depending on their size and visibility. And perhaps one of the most unique and confusing errors is when a 1990-60 penny is struck through a capped die, a situation where a coin gets stuck to the striking die and continues to strike other blanks, leaving a ghostly, distorted image on subsequent coins, and capped die strikes often exhibit a mysterious, blurry appearance, with Lincoln's profile stretched or swollen in appearance, and well-preserved examples of these from 1990-60 can be extremely collectible and fetch strong prices in auctions or private sales, and of course, as with other modern Lincoln cents, high-grade specimens of the 1990-60 cent in pure red, RD, coloration and high mint state grades are extremely desirable to registry set collectors, and when you consider that billions were struck and most entered circulation immediately, the number of coins surviving in pristine, untouched condition is vanishingly small, and examples graded MS-68 RD or higher by PCGS or NGC can demand thousands of dollars due to their rarity and registry demand, especially when they are among the top population in the census, and prices as high as $5,000 to $7,000 have been recorded for these top-graded condition rarities alone. And now imagine combining that high-grade status with a dramatic error like a double denomination or a major off-center strike. That's how a 1990-60 penny can rocket to $20,000 or more in value. And as we've said before, these coins are out there, but extremely rare. And the vast majority of collectors or everyday people would never think to check the small copper coins they handle every day for the tiny but valuable anomalies that can elevate a cent from pocket change to a life-changing discovery. And once again, we urge all coin roll hunters, hobbyists, and estate sale explorers to keep your eyes open, use a strong magnifier, learn the diagnostic traits of valuable errors, and always be on the lookout for oddities, unusual designs, misaligned strikes, doubled elements, missing features, or any coin that simply doesn't look quite right. Because in the strange and wonderful world of mint errors, those coins that don't look right often turn out to be worth thousands or tens of thousands of dollars, and the 1990-60 Lincoln cent is yet another shining example of how minting mistakes, when paired with extreme rarity, stunning eye appeal, and verified grading, can catapult a 1-cent coin into the realm of 5-figure collectibles, capturing the imagination of collectors and proving that even in the world of modern pennies, astonishing value still hides in plain sight. And as we continue our deep dive into the world of valuable Lincoln cents, having just uncovered the hidden fortune behind the 1990-60 penny that has stunned collectors by reaching prices up to $20,000 under specific rare error conditions, we now turn our attention to an even earlier date in the Lincoln cent series that carries with it a story of striking rarity and fascinating minting anomaly. The 1980 Lincoln 1 cent, a coin that for most people represents nothing more than everyday pocket change from the turn of the decade, but for a lucky few who've discovered rare and highly unusual varieties or mint errors, this seemingly ordinary copper-plated cent has turned into a jaw-dropping collectible, with a handful of examples commanding up to $30,000 in auctions and private sales, making it one of the most surprising and talked-about coins from the era, and like with many coins of substantial value, it's not the year itself or the mint that creates the price tag, it's the presence of exceptionally rare mint errors, die varieties, or once-in-a-lifetime minting mishaps that make all the difference. And the story of the 1980 Lincoln cent begins with its place in the historical transition of coinage, as this was still during the period when the U.S. Mint was striking cents from a solid copper alloy, right before the mid-1982's shift to copper-plated zinc blanks. And while billions of 1980 pennies were struck in both Philadelphia and Denver mints, with very few standing out from the crowd, one category of mint error has completely transformed the numismatic status of a select few 1980 cents, dramatic double denomination strikes, which, as we've previously discussed with other coins, occur when a blank planchet that was already struck as one coin is accidentally fed back into the press and struck again with dies meant for a different denomination. And in the case of the 1980 Lincoln cent, one of the most spectacular known examples involves a penny that was struck on top of a previously struck Roosevelt dime, producing a coin that bears the features of both denominations in chaotic, overlapping form, with Lincoln's profile clashing into Roosevelt's, and the reverse showing elements of both the Lincoln Memorial and the torch of the dime, and due to the extreme improbability of such a minting accident, coupled with the boldness and clarity of the overstrike, this specific 1980 double denomination cent has fetched staggering figures, upwards of $30,000 in confirmed transactions, particularly when graded by PCGS in high mint state and encapsulated with full certification of its double denomination authenticity. And this isn't just a fluke example. Other high-value 1980 cent errors also include off-metal strikes, where the coin is minted on a planchet intended for another coin entirely, such as a foreign denomination or a dime planchet, resulting in a penny that is either underweight, improperly colored, or missing portions of the design due to the size mismatch. And when these off-metal 1980 cents are paired with bold strikes and clear date visibility, their desirability and value skyrocket, especially in mint state grades. And it doesn't stop there, because another huge area of interest for 1980 Lincoln cents lies in the presence of dramatic die varieties, particularly the double die obverse, DDO, and double die reverse, DDR, where elements of the design, such as the date, "Liberty in God We Trust," or parts of the Lincoln Memorial, appear to be double due to a hubbing error in the die creation process. And while no major catalog DDO of 1980 reaches the fame of the 1955 or 1969s, some high-grade and clear doubled dies have been authenticated and command thousands of dollars depending on the visibility and sharpness of the doubling, and this is particularly true in coins with minimal wear, full red surfaces, and strong eye appeal. And then there are the high-grade, top-pop condition rarities that registry collectors chase with intensity. These are 1980 cents that are flawless in every aspect, graded by PCGS or NGC at the MS68RD or MS69RD level, and with billions of coins struck and distributed into circulation, the survival rate for such perfect examples is incredibly small, making these condition rarities exceptionally valuable. And when population reports show that only a handful of coins exist in the top grade, bidding wars often erupt among collectors seeking to secure the best available example, and these have been known to bring in several $1,000s, and in certain cases, particularly when paired with other errors or visual uniqueness, can contribute to prices reaching or exceeding the $30,000 mark for combined appeal. And error specialists have also identified cap die strikes, brockages, off-center strikes, and bonded coin errors from the 1980 series, each of which presents an opportunity for significant valuation if the error is large, dramatic, and well preserved. And in brockage errors, for example, a previously struck coin gets stuck to the die and imprints its mirror image onto the next blank, creating a deeply mirrored, reversed impression on one side of the coin that can make the design look ghostly or inverted. And full brockage strikes from 1980 with clean surfaces and sharp detail have sold for thousands of dollars, particularly when accompanied by certification from leading grading companies. And another fascinating area of value lies in transitional planchet errors. And while 1980 was not an official transition year like 1982, the potential for planchets to be misallocated, left over, or misfed across years has led collectors to scrutinize certain 1980 cents for wrong metal compositions, especially those that appear underweight or exhibit unusual color or surface behavior when tested for metal content. And any confirmed 1980 cent struck on a planchet from another denomination or metal blend would immediately gain the interest of advanced error collectors and could command a premium well into the five-figure range, especially if it is the only known example of its kind. And perhaps the most fascinating aspect of the 1980 Lincoln cent story is that its extreme value is not driven by a widespread variety, but by isolated, almost freak occurrences within the minting process. Errors so rare and improbable that only one or two of each kind may exist, and that rarity, paired with the strong collector demand for dramatic and visually stunning mint mistakes, is what pushes the value of these coins up to $30,000 or more. And these coins are reminders of the unpredictability and fallibility of mass production, and that in the midst of billions of ordinary pennies, something extraordinary can still emerge. And for collectors, the dream of finding one of these 1980 Lincoln cent rarities is what fuels the hunt. Every roll searched, every jar dumped out, every estate collection reviewed holds the potential for discovery. And with grading technology, online marketplaces, and error coin communities more active than ever, more eyes are looking, more errors are being found, and the stories behind coins like the 1980 $30,000 cent continue to inspire both seasoned numismatists and new hobbyists alike to check every coin, to learn the diagnostics, and to remember that sometimes all it takes is one penny, struck just the wrong way at just the right time, to change everything.